So let's talk about this. What is humor? I have this equation. Comedy plus business equals humor. If you're at a comedy club, you have no holds barred, right? You can talk about whatever you want, and they do talk about whatever they want. It's the last bastion of free speech in our country, in my opinion. But if you're going to try to be funny in business, you're not doing comedy, man. You're doing humor. Because all humor is safe comedy. And the way you make it safe is you run by what I call the humor rules. The first rule is, don't make fun of any person or group of people, especially the Germans. All right, these guys have taken on the world twice and almost won. We don't want to upset them. Also, keep it above the belt. You don't want to be making any sexual references whatsoever because you could rub someone the wrong way. Hello. Also, stay away from politics and religion. Because let's face it, nobody is as well informed about religion and politics as you and your Facebook friends. Also, you want to stay away from drug references. You might think it's hilarious that you have 3 DUIs. I assure you that human resources does not. Now we're getting a little bit more obscure rules. Stay away from words that have violent images. The reason why we're using humor is to make people feel good, right? We want to make them happy. When you use words with violent images, it puts violent images in their head. For example, Holocaust, September 11th, ISIS. Do you feel the difference in the room? The violent images in your head have really, that's what you're thinking about now. So that's the prime reason why you want to stay away from violent words. And the last rule is stay away from unsafe subjects. If you're the CEO and you make a joke about layoffs, it's not going to go over well. So let's talk about the difference between comedy and humor. Anybody ever heard this before? Dying is easy, comedy is hard. It's true. Comedy is very hard. If I was really good at it, I wouldn't be here today. Truth is funny. But there's good news. We're not talking about comedy. We're talking about humor. Comedy is hard, but humor is easy. And the reason why humor is easy is because the bar has been set so low that all you have to do is make a valiant effort and you win. Right? Like the presenters at the summit are great. But, of all the 100 presentations you've seen, 5, maybe 10% even try humor? And those that do really stand out. Because it doesn't take much. I mean, in these situations, the bar is set low. When I get introduced as the humor expert, my bar's up here. When you guys get introduced on your expert level of whatever you're talking about, your bar's not even here. And here's a prime example. Can you hit play for this, please? This is Dan Cathy, the CEO of Chick-fil-A, speaking at the University of Georgia's Business School.
We're real treat to be with you here today. We've got some more goodies. We've got some cows that don't spell very well here. We also have a card for a free Chick-fil-A sandwich. Did y'all get some of those? We hope that you'll take full advantage of that card, including, if you will, please, bring somebody else with you to pay us full price. Thank you very much.
Even some of you guys laughed. If he did that in a comedy club, he would be asked not to come back. But it's Dan Cathy, Chick-fil-A, UGA Business School. The bar's low. So why humor in your presentations? People don't remember what you say. They remember how you made them feel. Again, that's a paraphrase, but it's Maya Angelou. Would you guys agree with this statement? So when you use humor, you make people feel good, right? You make them happy. So that's what they'll remember. Science 101, when you make somebody smile or laugh, you raise their endorphins. Right? Everybody agrees with this? So therefore, making somebody smile or laugh makes them like you on a physical level. North American Journal of Psychology said making people smile or laugh increases your likability. Johnny Carson said that if people like you, then you've won 80% of the battle. Did I say something funny? Or did I find an image on the internet beforehand and put it in my deck and get to laugh? Business 101, when you're speaking, when you're presenting, your goal is to persuade your audience, right? You're either trying to get them to take action or change their belief. Would you agree with that? You're trying to persuade, right? Dr. Jim Little in 1977 did this multi-year study, multi-university study. Humor increases persuasion's effectiveness. If you're trying to persuade, use humor, and it increases effectiveness. Those are 4 words that I want you to remember. They say that every presentation should have one message that you take away. You get out of here, you call your spouse, you're like, oh, what was the last speaker about? This is the sentence I want you to remember. Humor increases persuasion's effectiveness. Because if you subscribe to this sentence and you believe this sentence, then you will do the work that it takes to add humor to your presentations. Jeffrey Gittimore is a very famous and successful sales consultant. He says that people pay most attention just after you use humor because they want to hear what you're going to say next. So when the first YPO presentation I gave was a couple years ago, and it was in Orlando. It was at the end of a 3-day conference. I was the last speaker. Everybody was tired. It was 4 p.m, and I go out there and I start doing my jokes, and nobody's laughing. Remember, I've done over 1,000 comedy shows. I've been in this situation before. So I just went through it, did it all, but everybody's paying attention. At the end of it, I'm talking to this guy named Walter, who's the CEO of Waffle House. And we're talking. He goes, listen, I want to let you know, when you were up there, nobody was laughing, but everybody was paying attention. And I think it's because they were hoping that the next joke would work, right? But that's the KPI that I give my clients and I give to you as well. When you use humor in your presentations, the KPI is that they're going to not look at their phones as much because they want to hear what you're going to say next. So here is why humor works. Increased likability plus increased engagements results in increased results.